Great. So I'm able to see your chats and all that. I'm pretty audible. That's what I'm thinking. And this may not be like a webinar. So the major idea of this is called as open conference, where we want to bring you what is happening in lines of data analytics and data science in industry. So like how many of you are having this doubt? What is the future of data science, data analytics, AI, ML, except that design thinking? How many of you are having this doubt? What is the future of data science, data analytics, AI, ML? So any guess, like what you are thinking? Anyone are having these doubts? So what going to be the future, this kind of doubts? Anyone are having it? Great. It's going to be raw. Great, Rahul. What about others? So I hope I'm audible. Now let's get started. The bride for this industry, great Emmanuel. I totally agree with you. Now, what is my overall presentation is like before I'm starting with my presentation. So what I will be covering today, I'll be focusing on primarily um, like the overall life cycle of data science, data analytics, AI, ML in a real world scenario. Means once you got hired as a data analytics or data science, what going to be your life cycle? Shall I do that? So instead of doing like a regular webinar, simple topics, I want to teach you how your life cycle going to be once you got placed as a data analytic person or a data scientist. From where you start that process, can I go for it? That is what I'm planning today. Once I completed that, so then I will be going with the Q&A. So you can list down your Q&A. In case if you have any queries, you can ask me once we completed with the presentation. All right. So now let me, I don't want to waste time. So without wasting the time, I just want to get into the keynote. So while I'm going with the Q&A, you can share about intro. I'm not going with intro and all that now. I don't want to waste the time. So now let us get into the very first element is what is the role of a data analytic person or a data scientist? Why companies need to hire a data analytic person or a data scientist? Can anyone please guess on this? Why a company need to hire a data analytic person or a data scientist? I want few answers from your side. So people who are learning about data analytics or data science, you can just to get data driven solutions. All right. To solve business problem, to build insights for the future purpose, to make better decisions, to make predictions, to provide valuable insights or information from mass data. All right. So now let me just share my screen. Now you are able to see this. Now, the very first element we are able to discuss on is like no value, no analytics. So what does it mean by no value, no analytics is in case if you are unable to add a value, there is no sort of analytics, means there is no need of analytics. So we can say one thing. So how many of us need electricity? For example, how many of us need electricity? How many of you people electricity is important? So without electricity, can you charge your phones? Without electricity, can you charge your phones? Not exactly. So even though if you go and touch the electricity, is it harmful? There is power circulating, you're going and touching that let's say transformer, is it dangerous? It going to threat the human life? Absolutely. But still we are trying to use electricity in our day-to-day life. In a very simple note, we are leveraging the power of electricity and we are trying to get certain amount of value. In the same way, AI means whatever we are discussing, data analytics, artificial intelligence, so data science, it is more like an electricity. We need to get the benefit out of whatever we are using it. Now have a look over this. Customer, now no value, no analytics. What does it mean? So whenever we say data analytics or data science, everyone speak about, hey man, try to learn Python. try to learn Tableau, create a wonderful dashboard, could learn MySQL. So is this the same thing where you see in Reels, or this is what you see in the advertisements? So build a great dashboard so you are able to be a data analytic person. Learn Python, you're gonna be a data scientist. Learn this, you're gonna be this. So you're able to notice all this whenever you're able to look onto the advertisements and all that, if I'm not wrong. Advertisements or Reels and all that. What do you say? Absolutely. So I want it to be interactive. Please respond. So everyone, please respond. I hope you are there, right? Are you sleeping? Or are you there? Are you there? Everyone, please confirm once. Yes. Perfect. Great. So now, whenever we are going into analytics, this is what people speak about. But in a real world job profile, without a value, there is no analytics. Company, for example, if you are able to think like a business owner, business owners don't care about whether it is a data analytics or whether it is a data science or whether it is a AI ML. They always think about what is the kind of money we are able to get it. Now, first, have a look over. I came up with one use case. These are all the real-time use cases companies are working towards. I listed very few use cases. There are a lot of use cases beyond this. Now, what exactly meant by a use case or a problem statement? The very first problem statement is customer propensity analytics. What does it mean by propensity? Is you are trying to understand the behavior of the customers. Now, just imagine, by understanding the behavior of the customers, it can be any particular product. It can be a healthcare product. It can be a beer related product, or it can be related to your pharmacy, or it can be related to your agriculture. It can be related to manufacturing or cars or whatever it is. By understanding the customer behavior, or I can say natural behavior or the natural tendencies, by understanding it better. So by sharing that inputs to the company, they are able to increase the business or they are unable to increase the business. Just imagine, like I'm trying to showcase them what is the nature of the customers. By giving that inputs, the business going to grow it or they are unable to grow it. What do you say? In case if you own a business, you own a restaurant, by understanding the nature of your customers, can you grow your restaurant? What is your answer? You're able to grow it. Now, is there a financial savings behind, or there is a profit increase behind this particular use case or not? Is there a growth in profits by doing it? Absolutely, there is a growth in profits. And another use case, customer look-alike modeling and clustering. So what does it mean by customer lookalike modeling and clustering is, now, for example, I got 100 customers. By searching for the similar kind of customers, is there a growth in my business already? For example, we all notice that in Netflix and all this means you watch this particular web series. So based on the look-alike patterns, we are recommending you this kind of web series. Anytime you noticed it? Based on your previous watch, we are recommending you this series. Anytime you done it? Absolutely. Now, by understanding look-alike customers, am I able to grow my business? One more use case. So by understanding look-alike customers, can I grow my business or not? The answer is absolutely yes. I'm able to grow my business by understanding look-alike customers. And another one, you are able to see direct mail marketing response rate. So whenever you are emailing a customer, what is the purpose of an email? It's majorly in order to sell our products. I'm trying to email a customer. So by looking at the response rate, so I'm able to see whether if more people are having huge response rate, what happens? They're going to be a growth in my business. They're going to buy it. They're going to like my product. Again, so understanding the response rate of my marketing, or increasing the response rate of my marketing, or predicting the email engagement rates and all that, that going to help me to design my email campaigns and all that. Instead of randomly writing an email, by understanding and by predicting this, can I grow my business again? What do you say? Absolutely, there is a value increase. And one more, you are able to see child behavioral diagnostics. Nowadays, hospitals are investing a lot of money to understand the child behaviors. Not only hospitals, educational systems are doing, governments are doing. So various organizations are working towards this child behavior diagnostics. Not only that, if you are able to take nowadays, the training institutes are taking up a boom, or whatever it is, there is a drop and all that. Now, training institutes, if they are targeting children, so they need to understand the child behavior analysis. services. So mostly this child behavior diagnostics is not related to education, but related to healthcare. So by understanding it better, they are able to perform proper treatment in lines of psychology and all that. For that reason, they are trying to use again data science and data analytics. And the last one, you are able to see one more use case, recommending the best hotels. Is it important? For example, you are in a hotel business, let's say, what is that, TripAdvisor or bookings.com, or what is that, agoda.com. So like by giving you the right recommendations, is there a growth in their business? Yes or no? Absolutely. There is a growth in the business. So now what is the major point you need to target is more about the business. It's not about the tools. Means like people are, what they are doing is they are overrating the tools and they are underrating the business value. So even if someone want to hire you, they hire you based on your particular business ability and the growth ability. What is the kind of financial savings you added? Based on that, your job role is related. Just imagine you acquired a skills which you can grow a business. So is there a need for someone to give a job, or you can do a consulting? Just imagine you are a top level in your skill set. You can grow a business. Your mind is tuned towards growing a business. Do you need to search for a job, or you can come up with a consulting? What do you say? You can survive at any particular point of time. So like the business, until you die, until this entire earth going to be collapsed, the business going to stay in the market. Every business need the growth. If you can offer them the growth, it's not about, so people are mistaken. Now what people are doing is they are offering Python, they are offering Tableau, they are offering statistic skills, they are offering machine learning skills. I can find the skill set in the market abundantly. Means like if I go to the internet, I can find abundant resources on Python, machine learning and statistics, but I can't find an abundant resources on who can grow the business. So whenever you go to a market, your goal is not to offer Python, you are offering the business growth. So how you are able to achieve that business growth, you have your own ways. You can grow it with respect to Python, or you can grow it with Excel, or you can grow it with a Tableau, or you can grow it with your statistics or machine learning. So there is a small thought process difference. Whenever you offer, don't offer your skill set, offer the business growth. That's where you are able to see the very simple step is transition. You are able to see it only when you offer a business growth. And the same thing is happening. So whenever people go to the interviews, they try to speak it like a debate. So what they do is that they will be like, I can say it's more like than saying a debate, it's more like an interrogation. You are a guilty person, you are a criminal, and the interviewer is like a police officer. He's going to interrogate you. Hey, what you done? It's not that. The basic nature is interview purposes, man, I got what you needed. I got a business offer for you. It's more like a deal. So I got a value which I can offer it to you. In case if you like it, you can hire me. In case if you don't like it, I'll be finding some other guy who is able to meet my requirement. So you are offering a service. Company is not offering a service. Company is looking for a service. You got the point, right? You are offering what they needed. So without you, the companies can't run, they can't work. So the small thought process difference, why companies, or why the process is more like an interrogation, is you are not offering what the companies are looking for. You are offering them, hey man, they are asking you, man, I want business growth. Hey, no man, I don't have business growth, I have Python. Hey man, I want business growth. Hey man, I know Power BI. Hey man, I want business growth. I know MySQL, buddy. I'm like a pro in MySQL. Hey, I want business growth. I'm very good at statistics. I'm very good at machine learning. The companies are, I don't want you. I want someone who can offer the business. It's not about the tools. So if you can offer this, yes, you are not in a mood of like, hey, recession going to drop me, this company going to fire me, that company going to fire you. You don't think about it. So the companies need to feel, hey, this guy going to resign. Why? This guy can grow a value. So if I lose him, I'm losing important business deals. So if you can do this, yes, data analytics or data science going to be booming for the next whatever the years is. Whatever the concepts we are learning, we are not learning it from something very fresh, started in 20,000, or we can say 2000 or 2010, nothing like that. They are from like 1886 based math we are using it now. So before going deep into it, what is your life cycle? Now see this, whenever you get into any particular business problem, the very first step you do is, what is x-axis? See this, what is on x-axis? Now in a business, what is all about a business? Can you tell me? What is there inside a business? Can anyone guess what is there inside a business? It's like, I will be giving an answer. For example, in order to get a business, so for example, there is a product, there are customers, there are employees, there are stakeholders, there are managers. So indirectly, so there are processes in a business. Is it right? Is there a process in a business? There are a lot of different processes in the business. So there is a manufacturing process. There is a selling process. There is a support process. There is a marketing process. There is a finance process. There is a supply chain process. There is a healthcare process. Is it all process? Whatever you see in the day-to-day life. If you go to a restaurant, you are able to see a process, how they are delivering the tiffin. If you are able to go to a particular healthcare, you are able to see a process, how the doctors are serving us. If you are able to go to any of this, now restaurants are changing their process. If you notice in the olden days, if you go to a restaurant, you need to have a waiter. You need to come, you need to do it. Nowadays, they defined a process. You can directly go to the restaurant. You are able to buy a product which you needed. It is able to give you a particular token amount, and they're going to be a kitchen service. They are able to get that token amount in the kitchen. Based on that, they take that particular order once it's made, and they place it inside a robot. The robot going to come and they're going to deliver at your particular table. So while you're placing an order, you get your table number, you get your token. As simple as that. So the robot going to come and going to deliver. Now see, by automating this, are you able to save a huge amount of waiters? What do you say? Can you save a huge amount of waiters? You don't need to pay for the waiters. You don't need to have a lot of expensive things. So like with the help of automation, what is changing? Restaurant business is not changing. The way we do restaurant process is changing. With the help of AI, so we are not removing hospitals. The way we deliver healthcare, the process is changing. So with the help of AI, the way we manufacture our products is changing. That's what we are calling Industrial Revolution 4.0. Now, whenever you are getting into your supply chain, supplying a products means from one place to another place, the way we supply the products is changing, the process is changing. Whenever you go to educational, I don't think so what is changing in education, but maybe. So even the process in the education going to change. So now everywhere, if you go to farming, agriculture, the way we do agriculture is changing. Now in the olden days, we need, in order to track the temperature, we don't have proper resources. Now what we are doing, we are fitting the sensor so we can grab the temperature. We can understand the soil moisture. We can understand the humidity. We can understand the rainfall. Lot of parameters we are able to understand within the agriculture. So we are able to run an agriculture in a better way. Again, what is changing? Process is changing. So as a data analytic person and a data scientist, your role is to make the process in a better way. So the sales is there. Sales is there in the industry from a very long time. Marketing is there in the industry from a very long time. Now, by applying data science or data analytics to marketing, we are calling it as data-driven marketing. By taking data science with respect to your sales, data-driven sales. So by understanding the customers, data-driven customers or customer analytics or customer propensity analytics, we are calling it as. Now we are trying to change the process. Now here, how we need to identify a process. See this, on the x-axis, you have an impact. On the y-axis, you got a complexity. What does it mean by an impact and what does it mean by a complexity is, let me tell you one thing. Now, every process means like delivering a product, there is a kind of impact, there is a kind of complexity. Now, delivering a product, is it a complex thing or is it an easy thing? So I want to take the item from the kitchen and I want to deliver it to a customer. Is it a complex thing or an easy thing? What do you say? Is it complex or is it easy? It is a complex thing or is it's just an easy thing. If I'm able to route the robot, that's it, it's done. It's not a complex thing. So just if I'm able to give the table number, if I can route that robot over there, it's going to work. That's not a big difficult. Now let's understand. Now there is a customer, let's say Manish or Nilesh or Igniting Minds, there are different names. So again, I can see Nadeem, Damodar, Narayan, all these people are there. Now they gave me a call, Kant. So give us a career advice. Now, instead of a human, I want to place a particular robot to give a career advice. Now, is it a complex thing or is it an easy thing? Is it a complex thing or is it an easy thing? It is very complex. Means I can't even understand what Narayan going to ask it. So we can't even predict in prior what Nilesh going to ask. So in prior, we can't even predict what Manish going to ask or what Nadim going to ask. We don't even know what they are asking. It means like we can't understand it. So it should not be like a robot. It need to be like a human. In case, if I'm able to automate it, can I achieve a huge amount of financial gain? Just imagine. In case without me, it can speak like me. So just imagine I can on a robot, so I can take consulting money, and it's like, so I don't need to do anything. I can sleep, I can watch Netflix, I can go for a vacation. The money is like what is that? Clicking like a counter, right? Or it's rolling like a counter. So easy, right? So it is complexity is more, the impact is more, but we can't automate it. Now see this. Now here I have came up with impact and complexity. Now what I'm trying to choose, now the impact is moderate. If you see on the x-axis, the impact is moderate, the complexity is less. And this one, the impact is more, complexity is not more, very complex, like moderate. The impact is more, complexity is increasing. So what we are choosing at the best, so which one is having more impact and less complexity, we are choosing that particular process to automate it. We can say automating, or we can add analytics to it. So now we are choosing a process. For example, marketing. Now take marketing is a process. Now, for example, on an average business spend, like if you take big companies like take anything, like nowadays, like people are spending a lot of money on IPL advertisements. So now one of the area where where business spend a lot of money. So if they are having crores of revenue, where they spend all their money? Into operations or into marketing? Where they spend a lot of their money? Into marketing, right? Into advertisement. They spend a huge amount of money. Now, marketing, is it complex or is it less complex or is it a moderate complex thing? It's a complex thing, or we can say moderate complex. If they are spending 100 crore rupee in a year, or let's say they are spending 10 crore rupee in a year, at least if I'm able to improve the marketing, at least for few percentage, can I save lakhs of rupees to the company or not? At least if I can help them in a few percentage impact or better performance of marketing channels, there is a lakhs of rupees you can save to the company. Now what companies are doing, they are taking the data analytics and they are trying to now have selected the process of marketing in order to perform transformation. That is one way. That is what analytics means. You are trying to take process of marketing and you are trying to analyze, so you are able to give them a financial gains to the company in lines of marketing. That is one example. Second example is email automation. What does it mean by an email automation? Or let's take very simple example, product recommendation. Now product recommendation, is it very important? For example, like Manish went to Amazon, he placed an order. So, or after buying it, so he's not coming to Amazon from a very long time. Just imagine we are recommending some products automatically. That going to boost our sales at least 1%. Automatically recommending it going to boost, absolutely right. Now if I'm not automating this process, and if I make sure about giving a call, means I don't have recommendation engine or I don't have that automated recommendations. So what we are doing is, once someone placed an order, I need to check once in a month and I want to give a call to all the customers available in Amazon. Is it easy task? I want to give a call to all the customers available in Amazon. It's not an easy task, right? I'm gonna miss it, so it doesn't work. Now, again, by giving the recommendations at what time Manish is available online. Does it make sense? So like instead of giving him call while he is in a party, or instead of giving him a call and selling him, a man, why can't you buy some products while he is driving? So is that a good time, or recommending him when he is online is a good time? What is a good time to recommend a product? When it is online. So as a customer, as a human, I can't get all that data, but through the websites and all that, we are able to get it. That's what people are doing. So recommendation based on the customer patterns. That's what I call it as customer propensity. Now I'm trying to give the recommendations based on that. So without even I'm working, the things are getting automated. Now with the help of automation, you are able to get a financial savings. One example, robot, it is able to automate it, financial savings. Now with the help of this, now I want to monitor a big manufacturing unit. There is a big thermal plant or a big manufacturing unit. In order to monitor all that, I need to place a people. Instead of that, just imagine if I'm able to monitor everything in a phone, which one is more less in cost and more accessible? Is it humans, or is it a mobile phone which is connected with all the sensors? So you can see it. If there is any emergency, you can go and fix it. Which one is better? accessing everything in the mobile phones. That's what we are doing with our cars. Is it right? Nowadays, our cars can be controlled with our mobile phone. One such example is Ola scooter. Is it right? Ola electric, you are able to control your thing. You can on and off with your mobile phone. That's what I call it as Internet of Things. Or I can say Industrial Revolution 4.0. You are making that physical things to be connected with the phones. So one such example we can see in a car, we are able to see the electric mobile vehicles. Now the same thing, we are applying it to a manufacturing plant. So we are able to remove unnecessary work. So I no need to be tied up with the people, no need to hire multiple shifts, which is also a financial savings. Process chosen for automation. Now all the green things comes into the play. So whichever the process related to high impact, we are choosing those process in a sequential way. Now you can ask me the question, Kant, like whenever we are automating, there is a chances of unemployment. Now let me tell you one small thing. Yes, there's going to be unemployment for sure. So now every time all the people are moving towards a better life. For example, let's take a small example. Now, in order to run the ship in the olden days, we need to have the coal people. Do you remember it? In order to run a ship, we used to have a lot of coal people, where the role is like they used to have thousands of people under a ship, even if you watch Titanic movie and all that. So what these people do, they take the coal, they throw it into the furnace, it's going to burn. They're going to be a huge amount of people. After that, we got fuel and all that. Is there an unemployment because of diesel or due to fuel? Yes or no? Can I say that? Is there an employment due to that? Yes. Now, every time the humans are moving towards a better life. That's what happening. Now, every time the humans are trying to upgrade or they are trying to go for a better life. So now in order to get a better life, one such example, not only with AI, now we are taking AI as a big thing. In the olden days, like in order to cook it, you need to have a lot of wood, you need to get the coal, you need to come up with that, and you need to do it in the olden days. Now, because of getting these gas, now you don't want wood to go and cook the daily activities, or you don't want the coal for daily cooking and all that. So due to that, is there an employment or there is a drop in the business? Is it right if I'm not wrong? So when majority of the households are shifting towards gas, I think the need of wood and the need of coal is getting reduced. That is also a kind of unemployment. We never questioned it. The same thing. So as a humans, our role is we always need to think towards, we need to be flexible. I don't say data science is a career that you're going to stay until you die. So there may be something better you're going to come after 10 years or after 20 years or after 2 years. You need to be flexible enough to move from one to the another. The key element is always think towards adding a value. That is something very, very important. Got it, everyone? Able to understand? Great. So now the next one, once we are able to identify the process, now what is your day-to-day life cycle going to look like? So now you are able to choose a process. Now, in case if you started your business as a data analytic person, for example, let me take, I am a guy with experience on data analytics, or I'm having some experience into data analytics or data science. How any data analytic project starts is not from data collection. It starts from this. So now, first we need to speak with the clients. You're able to see the first point. So interview. So now once we got a deal, for example, a hospital need a data analytics, then what we do, we don't directly go and say, come on, we will be using Power BI dashboard, or we develop machine learning. So we start with, we interview. This is one of an example. We done it in our company. So we interviewed 15 business stakeholders across 5 states and 3 countries to understand the business priorities. Before you get a project, this is the groundwork. We need to speak with the stakeholders. We need to speak with the decision makers. We need to speak with all the people who are connected with the business, who are looking for. And we need to interview all them, and we need to understand their business priorities. That is the very first thing. After understanding their priorities, we identified and examined 20 different data sources across multiple regions to understand current state, challenges, analytical requirements, gaps, recommendations for analytical use cases. Now, what we are doing now, the client, in case if they don't even know what to be done with analytics, basically they don't know what to do with an analytics. So we examine their data, we think towards what are all the possible use cases we can give to them. So in order to how we can identify a proper use cases based on this particular graph, impact complexity analysis. I'm trying to understand whether I need to work on marketing analytics or a customer analytics or sales analytics or an automation. We are understanding based on the impact and the complexity. Which one is having a high impact and less complexity, we are choosing first. That's what I'm trying to do. So I need to examine their data sources. After examining their data sources, so what can be a data source? It can be their sales data, marketing data, financial data, or it can be invoice related data, investment data. All this data I can look onto it based on the ability of access they gave it to me. So I can't go and say, come on, show me all the data. Based on the amount of transparency the client is having, they will be showcasing that. Once they showcased it, then we need to develop value versus complexity distribution, the one I showcased. So I need to come up with a value versus complexity distribution of analytical use cases to arrive at a prioritized use case list with implementation timeline. So I need to come up with a proper value versus complexity list with respect to the timeline, within how many days we are able to do it. So we always need to focus towards the quick wins. What does it mean by a quick win? Now, let's say you are a guy own a restaurant. Now, if I'm taking, in order to give you a value, if I'm taking 6 months, can you wait 6 months and will you be paying me the money for all the 6 months? In order to give you a financial growth, we are taking 6 to 7 months. Will you be waiting? You are a business owner, restaurant, you don't wait. Now we want to give you the quick wins. We need to give a clear path. We need to give a clear roadmap. This is what we are trying to work on. So we will be showcasing the results within this many number of days. So this kind of information, we need to share it with respect to the client. Based on that, what these people are able to do it, they will be deciding and they will be working on it. So now that's what they are doing. Identified 5 opportunity areas or use cases in advanced analytics, marketing analytics, customer analytics, operational analytics based on priority of the stakeholders we are trying to work on it. That is what we are doing it as a 5th stage. Now, out of all the priority we submitted, the client going to fix the best one, we will be trying to go and start implementing. Now, in order to implement, I want a data analytic person and a data scientist. Now, what is the difference between a data analytic and a data scientist? Can anyone give it? Now here, this is what happens. Now, there is nothing like a, I don't say there is a separate data analytic project or a data science project in an industry. Now we understand the requirement, based on that we get into it. Now, what is the difference between a data analytic team and a data science team? So I will be going with the Q&A once the presentation is completed. Please hold on your questions. So I'll be seeing that. So in the later. All right. So now let me go and explain it. Now, whenever we are getting into data analytics and the data science, one of the very important element comes into the picture is there are 2 different people. One is data analytic team. Yeah. So data analytics. Sorry. Yeah. So now first let me go with data analytics. So I'm calling it as DA. So whenever you go to data analytics, the goal of data analytics is to understand. So let us try to understand. Every time in a real world, there is a procedure of 2 things. Detect. So you need to detect what you can do with that particular data. You need to detect by looking at their data. You need to understand what are the possible use cases you can do it to the company. Once you detect that, you need to think about the possible use case. Now, for example, you detect it now without even understanding their business. Can you go and you, for example, in order to understand this concept, I need to go and explain 3 things. Descriptive analytics, predictive analytics. There are overall 3 types of analytics. Another one is prescriptive analytics. What is descriptive analytics? Can anyone explain what is descriptive, predictive, and the prescriptive? Without understanding these 3 things, we can't apply this use cases. So all your data science career and data analytics career is dependent on these 3 things. So let me explain. Descriptive analytics primary goal is to understand about the past. understand about the past, or I'm calling it as hindsight. Now let us take a very simple example. Now, how many of you watch thriller movies in your day-to-day life? How many of you watch thriller movies? Maybe in the lockdown or maybe in your weekends. So how many of you watch a thriller movie? Right, more or less like everyone going to watch the thriller movies, right? Now in the thriller movies, what people do, there is a crime happened. So once a crime happened, what this investigative officer or this hero going to do? First, they try to understand what happened. Is it right? Is this what they will be doing? Is it they try to understand what happened? So once they are able to understand what happened, then what they do, for example, the criminal may not do only one particular murder, and he may not be just sitting in the room and he don't eat chocolates, right? He will be committing multiple murders. So based on that, or multiple crimes, based on all these multiple crimes, so this investigative officer going to understand the patterns of that crime or patterns of that murders. Is it right? Have you noticed it? They try to go near that particular people who do post-mortem. They try to ask them, hey, what type of patterns? Have you noticed any kind of pattern in their cause of death? So this kind of things they try to do. Have you noticed it? Do you remember in the thriller movies? And after understanding, that is called as first stage of descriptive analytics, is to understand what happened. After understanding what happened, the next stage is why it happened. So here I can say the patterns. They are trying to understand why this happened. Now the same use case, I will be applying it. So to the business before that, now see, once you are able to understand what happened and why happened, once you are able to grab the patterns, then what you are doing, so based on that patterns, you are trying to make a statement about future crimes. Is it right? You are able to go for a future crimes, if I'm not wrong. Is it right? Hey, this guy going to do this one. This guy going to be the next person, or here he going to do the next crime. Do you remember this again? The future. We are trying to make a statement about future. And after doing the future, so what exactly prescriptive analytics, in case if he's doing this kind of action, then in case if he's trying to do this kind of crime or a murder, then we need to react like this. They're going to come up with a proper plan. Have you noticed it? Future plus follow action, right? So these are the kind of stages. Now here, descriptive analytics major goal. Now let's get into the business. Now I got a very good, let's say, we can say healthcare company. First, I need to understand what is the nature of their business. First, I need to understand about their past data. I want to understand their healthcare related data. It can be related to patients, or it can be related to the diseases, or it can be related to the sales, or whatever it is. And we need to understand why behind it. So by giving, for example, they came up with a problem statement, we are unable to get proper marketing results. Then we need to understand what happened, what type of marketing they done in the past. So why they have done, why they are not getting the results. First, we need to understand. And how we produce that, how we are able to generate that is with the help of reports. So once you are able to detect it, then you are able to understand about a business. You need to understand about business. So in order to understand about business, you are choosing data analytic person. That's where I am knocking data analytic people. So what is the role of data analytics is the data analytic people going to generate this kind of reports. So what they will be doing, they try to generate this kind of reports. Now whatever it is, whatever the things I can do it in a business, I want to present like this. Why a dashboard? Now very simple example. Now you are an end user, you own a business. So now do you interested in looking at the coding, or are you interested in looking at the programming or some statistic and math, or you are interested in this kind of dashboards? What you are more interested in? You own a company, you don't even have a time. So what you are looking for? You look at for coding, or you look at for mathematics, or you look at statistics. So what is your role? You look at this kind of dashboards. So like what is there inside the dashboards about your business, about all your business in one particular page. So that's what I'm calling it as a dashboard. So who going to develop this dashboards? The data analytic people going to develop this kind of dashboards. So by using Power BI, or by using Tableau, or by using Excel, or by using various tools, they're going to generate this kind of dashboards where people going to look at this, and based on this dashboards, they are able to make a proper decisions. So now they look at a dashboard, they make a decision. So now once the decision is able to reap the benefits, now what you are doing in an indirect way is based on what you presented in the dashboard, the business people are getting influenced through your dashboard. In case if they make any wrong decision, the problem is with the dashboard or with the decision maker. If anything went wrong, the problem is with the dashboard or with the decision maker. If anything went wrong, the problem is with the dashboards. Now, just the problem is with the dashboard. It's not with the decision maker. Why? You influenced the decision maker with your visualization. In case the numbers you showcased are wrong, for example, you showcased about employee performance data, and where whatever the numbers you showcased in a dashboard make the decision maker to fire the people. And after firing that, you came to know the analysis you done is wrong. The data you collected is wrong. Is that something good? Just imagine, is that something good? What do you say? It's not even good, right? So now you are influencing the decision makers. So whenever you are influencing the decision makers, do you need to be very precise or not? Just imagine it's more like this. Now I came up with it. I went near Kiran. Kiran, please help me in my career decision. Or I asked Kiran, hey Kiran, can you help me with my financial decision? He guided me something in lines of my financial decision. Due to that, I end up in losses. And I just wrote a note on top of Kiran stating that the crime is because, so I'm committing this suicide due to Kiran. So what happened? Oh my God, it's a big trouble, right? So now that's what happens in a company. Now they don't do all that, but just kidding. Now, whenever you're going with the decision making, you are the influencers of the decision making. So what a company is looking for in a practical way is not this dashboard. They are looking for the right numbers. So you need to showcase them what they are willing to see. You can ask me, Kant, am I a Baba to understand what this client's going to see? Is it right? I think that's what Kiran is thinking, or Ninanda is thinking. Is it right? So am I a Baba, Kant, in order to understand what clients are thinking or what the clients are looking for? So like, that's not the point here. So like how we are able to understand is based on, like, that's the reason why you sit in the client call is you will be like in a romantic date with a client. Come on, speak, man. I think you're in a romantic date. You try to speak, see you will be giving an eye contact. You understand what they are looking for. Based on that, you are trying to flirt with a client and you are trying to showcase what they seriously like it. You need to go back to your olden days where you used to flirt, right? You need to go back to those days. You need to flirt with a client until you die. Is it right? Anyone IT people going to relate to this? Any IT people going to relate to this? The flirting with a client? Anyone? IT people who work. IT people are right. You all, like, how many agree flirting with a client is your bread and butter? In order to get your money, you need to flirt with the client. You can't just flirt. You can't be a technical guy. You can't say I'm great, so I'm like 100% guy in my college. Client says, I don't want you, man. I think go back to your girls. Do girls like all the 100% people? Not exactly, right? Who going to understand the heart of a girl? Only the girl's going to like them. If you go and say I'm the best, the girls say, get out, man. I don't want the best. I want someone who can understand me. Is it right? If I'm not wrong, even the same thing followed to the boys as well. If a girl come and say, hey, I'm the best, no one wants a best girl. They want someone who can understand him. The same thing with a client. The clients don't want the best. The clients want someone who can understand them and who can customize the things based on their requirements. So suddenly, like, Shubham went to the client, hey man, you want to do this? Hey, don't do, man. I learned statistics, I learned machine learning, I learned Power BI. My trainers never taught this. And even you are asking me to go against the rules, it doesn't make sense. So it doesn't work, right? In the industry, you need to go what clients are looking for. That's the reason your goal of data analytics, that's what I say. Like, it's not about the tool. You can learn a tool. Take a Power BI. I can give you a challenge. If you can give 4 hours in Power BI, 4 hours of practice, you can be zero with knowledge, 4 hours, or at least you can say on an average way, 8 hours. 8 hours, one entire 8 hours. Just go back to your college days where you used to sit one overnight, right? So Power BI syllabus, if you can sit 8 hours, one day, you can be zero with knowledge, you can be non-technical, just give 8 hours on Power BI or Tableau, any tool, you can develop a beautiful dashboards like this. How many of you agree with for this challenge? Just 8 hours, only one day. How many of you can develop this kind of dashboards? Anyone can do this. So I can give you the challenge. Not only with Power BI, take Python. If you are able to give 8 hours, again, same like your college days, we are able to learn a syllabus which we don't even know in 8 hours. Do you remember it in our college days? Like 8 hours, you can go and you can pass an exam. You don't even know that subject, you are able to crack that. Is it right? You are able to get marks, you are able to score it. Do you remember that? Absolutely the same thing. Python, basically Python, we teach it for months right here in order to, but in case if you want to learn Python, just 8 hours. If you can sit for 8 hours, you can be zero with knowledge, you can learn Python. At least you can understand the coding by the next day. So now these tools, you can master it. Only one thing very important here is the important element, what companies don't find it in the internet or so, is the business skills. You need to fine tune whatever the skill you learned it. It can be a Power BI skill. Always think towards how you can add a value to the company. Every time think, while you're creating a dashboard, why I'm creating it? Why I'm using this parameter? Is there any use in the real time? Is there any business value behind this parameter? Now you showcased planning. What is the purpose of this planning parameter? What is the business value it is able to add? So everything you showcase in a dashboard need to give you a business value. So in business, we have two activities. Do you know the two activities in a business? Value added activity and a non-value added activity. What is meant by a value added is what a customers are willing to pay is a value added. What customers are not willing to pay is a non-value added. If you notice it, most of the service is a non-value added activities. If you notice, automations are happening around service industry. Have you noticed it? So whatever the service tickets you are raising, they got automated. If you want to reach to the Kotak Mahindra or any bank related customer executives, now it got automated. Very few getting connected. Majority of the things getting automated. Swiggy, reaching out to a customer agent, it's not first you need to go to a chatbot and then customer agent. Very rare cases. Now, have you noticed all these patterns? And if you notice, majority of the service points, people are trying to reduce it. Have you noticed it? Majority of the service points, even in the COVID time, majority of the service points, mobile service points, laptop service points. So all the service points, they are trying to reduce it and they are trying to make it automated. Have you noticed it? Right? So now why they are doing all this? It is called as a non-value added activities. Means company don't get a single rupee out of that kind of activity. So they are trying to automate that. Now, whatever you are showcasing it here, the company need to get a value. That's what you need to showcase. You need to think, you need to study the psychology of the managers. That is one of the very important skill to be a data analytic person. So if any of the learners are planning to be a data scientist, now one of the very simple strategy is, now is it possible for everyone to understand what happened in the past? Is it good for everyone? Is it possible? Like just by learning one tool, you're able to perform data analytics. So now in order to understand data analytics, you will be learning tools, or what are the tools you will be mastering it? So you need to learn MySQL. So why you need to learn MySQL? The data need to be stored. So in order to access the data, and for all that, you need to know MySQL is for data storing. After learning MySQL, you need to collect the data from MySQL and you need to perform visualizations. So in order to perform visualizations or dashboards, you need to have a knowledge on Tableau or you need to have a knowledge on Power BI. Again, don't go for a debate whether the Tableau is best or a Power BI is best. So it depends upon the company you're working with. If the company is using Tableau, you need to use Tableau. If the company is using Power BI, you need to go and use Power BI. It's not about, so try to learn one important soft skill, which is called as flexibility. So majority of the learners are lacking with the flexibility. So try to build a skill set on flexibility. You are able to survive into the field of data analytics. Without a skill of flexibility, you can't survive into the field of data analytics. Why? So the tools going to be rapid, means like we don't know which tool they will be using. You may use Tableau, you may use Power BI. That's the reason. Try to be flexible. Now, for that reason, you need to have a knowledge about data visualization tool, or we create a dashboard using this particular data visualization tool called as Tableau. And whatever the data you have it in the MySQL, in case if you want to clean the data, you are able to clean the data with the help of Python. So in order to clean the data, you need to have Python. So what you can do, you can take the data from MySQL, you can clean the data in the Python, and you are able to push it into the Power BI. You are able to develop the dashboards. You can submit to the client. So now with this three skill set, these are the very important toolkit. With this, again, if you can have a knowledge about statistics, that's going to help you to do your analysis in a better way. Whatever the numbers you are dealing with, whether the analysis is right or wrong, in order to correct it, statistics knowledge is important. So the purpose of statistics is it acts like a rule book in order to perform your dashboard creation and all that, or in order to perform your data analytics in a better way or in a right way, statistics going to help you. So I'm writing statistics here, that going to be your rule book. So based on that statistics, you are trying to develop the dashboard. This is a very important skill set if you are planning for data analytic job profile. Once you are able to get data analytics, then comes predictive analytics. What is this predictive analytics speak about? Now this topic is important. Once you are able to understand about the past, now your goal is to make the statement about the future. Now, if you look on to these examples, whichever I showcased it. So now all these examples are related to what? Now, all these use cases are related to what? Customer propensity analytics. Is it related to data analytics or predictive analytics? Customer propensity analytics. It related to data analytics or predictive analytics? It is related to data analytics. Customer lookalike modeling. So I'm trying to predict similar customers. Now this is related to what? Descriptive or predictive? I'm predicting the similar customers. What is that? It is predictive analytics. Now, understanding the marketing response rate or analytics of marketing response rate. Now, this comes into direct mail marketing response rate analytics. That is predictive or descriptive? This is descriptive. Email engagement prediction. You are trying to predict the email engagement rate. Now, that is email engagement rate. The name itself is saying prediction, predictive analytics. Now, child behavior diagnostics. You are trying to perform both. You are trying to understand the child behavior as well as you are predicting it. Now, inside this diagnostic, there are two things. So it is descriptive and predictive. Recommending the best hotels. So what exactly we call it as? Recommending the best hotels. It is a predictive analytics. Now, how we are able to do predictive analytics? Can anyone give an answer how we can do a predictive analytics? The next stage is predictive analytics. How we are able to do predictive analytics? So based on the past data, right? So based on the past data, by looking at the dashboard, by analyzing analysis of the past data, based on past data, oh my God, past data is like anything. If I plot a graph on past data, the past data going to be with more repeated past data. And reflexes. Okay. So what exactly? So any more guesses? How we are able to make the statements about future? Means I'm asking about the future statements. How you are able to make a statement about future? Now, in order to make a statement about the future, here comes the concept of math. Here comes the concept of math. So with the help of math, we are able to make the statement about the future. How exactly we are able to make the statement about the future? Let me showcase you a very simple example. Shall I explain a small mathematical concept in case if you are okay? Shall I showcase a small mathematical concept? You're able to see this image? Able to view this image, everyone? Perfect. You're able to view this image right now. In this image, now see this, like this is a historical data, means like we got overall 4 columns: temperature, outlook, humidity, windy. Let's say this data is related to Ashish. I think I'm able to see his name, Ashish. So Ashish is a very good person. He's a very rich man. I don't know why he joined the classes, but he's a very rich man. Maybe like he want to buy out me. Is it right, Ashish, if I'm not wrong? So like you are a very rich man, so only rich people play the golf. So you are here to buy out. All right. So now what do you say, Ashish? Are you there? All right, Ashish. Thank you so much. Yes. So now in order to play the golf, so I collected Ashish's data for last 1 month. So now he is not playing the golf. He is able to play the golf. So now in this way, we got all the 1 month of data. So Ashish is trying to decide whether he is able to play the golf or not with respect to, he tried to see temperature, he tried to see outlook, whether it is a sunny day, whether it is an overcast, or whether it is a rainy. He's trying to understand the outlook. He's trying to check the humidity of the outside thing. So whether the humidity is high or normal, whether there is a wind or not. In this way, he's trying to look at all these parameters. Based on that, he's deciding whether to play the golf or he should not go for a golf. In this way, he's deciding. Now, is this a historical data? Can I call this as a past data? Is this a past data? Yes or no? Is it a past data? Or yes, it is a past data or it is a historical data. Now, with this historical data, I am able to create a data analytic dashboard. I'm able to develop a dashboard that is possible. Now, what exactly we are trying to do is, now what exactly Ashish said, hey Kant, like you said, you are a data scientist, right? This is my historical data. Based on the historical data, today evening at 5 o'clock, I will be deciding whether to go for a golf or not, or around 3 o'clock, I want to decide it. Now, can you predict whether I'm going to play the golf today or whether I'm able to play or not golf on tomorrow? So you want to make me these predictions. If these predictions are accurate, then I will be buying you out or I will be investing in your company. In case, if you are unable to make the predictions, I may not be investing in your company. Then what I will be doing? So like means in order to make the predictions, I can't be like I'm not a god or I'm not anyone else. So I need to understand the patterns in the historical data. How we are able to understand the patterns or how we are able to map the patterns. It is more about mapping the patterns. We all do this pattern mapping in our day-to-day life. We got the friends, we got our siblings, we got our spouse or whatever it is. Based on the travel we are doing is we are able to make the predictions, means their actions are predictable. Have you noticed it anytime? So you are able to stay with a friend. By staying him with a long time, their actions are predictable. Is it right? You have a sibling, his action is predictable or his or her action is predictable. Is it right? By staying with them for a very long time? Absolutely, they are predictable. Now, how we are able to make it predictable? So now how we are able to say, I can't say past data, right? So there need to be something tangible or there need to be something realistic. So I can't say based on the past data, we are able to make it. If someone is asking how, there is no answer for us. So how it is able to do with the help of a mathematical equation, I'm writing a mathematical equation, see this, probability of A by B is equal to probability of B by A into probability of A divided by probability of B. Now, this guy provided me, Ashish gave me the data of temperature. Cool. So the probability of playing golf when the temperature is cool. Now, overall, how many columns you have it? Overall, how many columns you have it? There are 4 columns. Now, first stage, probability of S when it is cool. Now, is it in a format of A by B? Is it in a format of A by B? S when it is cool. Is it in a format of A by B? So now if it is this, then we are writing it as probability of cool when it is yes multiplied by probability of A here represents to probability of S divided by B represents probability of cool. Now I want to calculate first thing is probability of yes. So now in order to calculate probability of S, how many records you have it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 records you have it. So in 14 records, how many statements are S? How many times Ashish is playing the golf? Out of 14 times in the last month, how many times he is able to play the golf? Look at these numbers. 1, 2, 3. It's 9 times. So 9 by 4 is the probability. Now, probability of cool. Now, out of 14 times, how many times the weather is cool? The temperature is cool. Out of 14 times, how many times the temperature is cool? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 times the weather is cool or temperature is cool. Is it right? Now, again, another condition is probability of cool when it is yes. So I want to understand the probability of cool when the condition is yes. Overall, how many yes conditions you have it? This is called conditional probability. Overall, how many yes conditions we have it in our data set? How many times Ashish played the golf? 9 times. So in that, how many times it is cool? So cool, yes, 1 time, cool and S 2 times, cool and S 3 times. So cool and no, only 3 by 9 times. Now based on, so now are we able to understand all the right hand side parameters? Are we able to calculate all the right hand side parameters? Are we able to calculate all the right hand side parameters? Now I want to identify probability of S when it is cool is equal to probability of cool when it is S multiplied by probability of S divided by probability of cool. So what is probability of cool when it is S? 3 by 9 multiplied by probability of S is 9 by 14. This 9 and 9 going to be cancelled, divided by probability of cool is 4 by 14. So this 14 and 14 going to be cancelled. So this probability going to be 3.4, 3 by 4. So which is 0.75 probability. Now, how much percentage of chances we have it Ashish going to play the golf when the temperature is cool? How many percentage of chances we have it to say the Ashish going to play the golf when the temperature is cool? There are 75% chances we have it. So to say Ashish is more likely to play the golf. So now Ashish, is he looking only at temperature or he's looking at outlook as well? Outlook, humidity, windy. So he is looking at all the 4 parameters. So now what I'm trying to do, now I calculated for temperature. In the similar way, what I'm trying to do, I want to calculate it for even this particular sunny parameter. Again, probability of S when it is sunny. Can we calculate it? The same way, can we calculate even probability of S when it is sunny? Based on the historical data, can I calculate probability of S when it is sunny? The same way, can I calculate probability of S when the humidity is normal? Can I calculate it? Can I calculate probability of windy or probability of playing a golf when there is no wind? Can I calculate all the 4 things the same style? So now out of this, if majority of the columns are giving probability greater than 0.5, then what is the deal? Out of 4 columns, if 3 columns are saying he's more likely to play the golf, means the probabilities are greater than 0.5, then he going to play what? Then we are able to make a classification as he is able to play the golf. Out of 3 columns are saying less probability, means like 0.2, 0.3. Then the statement's going to be yes or no? Out of 4 columns, 3 columns are saying giving less probability. Now this is going to be yes or no? Then the statement going to be no. Now, our mathematical equations are used. So now if there is no mathematical equation, now for example, see this. Now the same mathematical equation, if the data is not related to Ashish, if this data is related to Teja, now the prediction is going to be same or different? The data of Ashish and Teja data going to be same or different? Different. Now the prediction is going to be same or different? Same mathematical equation, it going to give the same predictions or the different predictions? It's going to give the different predictions. Now the same example, take your recommendation engine. Same mathematical equation, due to change in data from one customer to the another customer, is there a huge amount of difference? Is it a customized predictions? Is it a personalized predictions? It is a personalized predictions. In case, if we don't have a mathematical equation, if I want to build a rule, then how is it possible? How many of you remember rules? How many of you remember rules? If temperature is equal to cool, then you need to check for humidity. So in this way, I have rules. If I want to build a rule system, it's going to be difficult. The rules are dynamic or static? Rules. If I want to come up with the rules to predict yes or no, the rules are dynamic or static? They are static. Now these mathematical equations are dynamic or the static? As your data is changing, your prediction is going to be same or changes? As your data changes, your prediction is going to change. So now moving forward, rules are better or predictions are better with the help of mathematical equations? What do you feel? In case if you are a business owner, what do you feel is a better option? Rules or mathematical equations? That's what we are doing. This is called what? The study of math when you're able to take this mathematical equations and when you're able to integrate it, now all this math, now you, in order to place it, now websites are developed with respect to what? Programming. Websites, how they are developed it? This is website. So now Amazon website, when this Amazon website is added with your mathematical equation. So in order to add a mathematical equation, you can't add it directly. So you want to take this mathematical equation and you want to place it in a vessel. We call that vessel as programming. That programming can be anything. That can be Python, that can be Java, or that can be Scala, any of the programming language. This is now this entire vessel. So programming language with mathematical equation, we call it as what? Machine learning. So this machine learning is a branch of what? It comes into which branch? Machine learning comes into a branch of artificial intelligence. Now, whenever you are taking a website, when you are able to add it with a machine learning, then what exactly we are calling it as? We call it as intelligent, or we call it as a smart website. Is it right? That's what Amazon is doing. That's what your Swiggy is doing. Is this what your Zomato is doing? Is it the same architecture? You got a website where your mobile app, it can be website or it can be a mobile app where you are able to interact in your mobile app or you are able to interact in a website. So there is a machine learning algorithms which are able to predict your future activities. It is able to predict your lookalike movies, lookalike recommendations or lookalike products. It is able to recommend lookalike customers. So it is able to automatically email the customers, or it is able to come up with a discount offers, automated discount offers, intelligent or smart websites, or we are calling it as mobile apps. Now the same architecture, what we are doing is, now for example, when you go to a manufacturing industry, how the manufacturing industries are developed it? Now you got a manufacturing plant, I'm calling it as MP. So this manufacturing plant need to be connected or need to be surrounded. So with what? So they are connected with sensors. What is the purpose of sensor? The sensor purpose is to collect the data. So once you collected the data, we are passing this collected data into a database. From the database, we are passing it to your machine learning. Then we are calling it as Industrial Revolution 4.0. Now what is the previous example? We are getting data through a sensor. It's not a sensor, it is a robot. Even inside a robot, you have a sensor. So you have the camera or you have the sensors, it can detect the position and all that. So from this robot, you are able to collect the data through your sensors. Again, it is getting stored into the database. And from the database, we are using machine learning in order to predict the things. We are calling it as automation. You are having an email. That email also I can say website. So from the website, you are able to get an email. So that is also a data collection. From that, you can store it into a database. From the database, you are pushing it into a machine learning algorithm. So it is able to automate. It is able to read the email. It is able to send it to the right department or the right team. We are calling it as email automation. So whatever the architecture I'm giving a very simple layman architecture. In this, we have different types of architectures. We can go for an MLOps architecture. We can go for a big data driven architecture, a large scale architecture by adding Kafka layers and all that. We are able to do it. So now I'm not going that deep into this particular topic. I'm just giving a high level. You're able to understand all the architectures are same, if I'm not wrong. You're collecting the data, storing into the database, passing to the ML. So you're able to get some predictions. Getting this concept, everyone? Right now, if you look at this, is it more like a human? As a human, we are able to collect the data with our eyes, sensors. Instead of sensors, we have eyes. We are collecting the data with our touch. We are able to collect the temperature with our touch. We are able to collect the data with our ears. So once the data is collected, we store it into the database, means our memory. So based on our intelligence, we are able to make the decisions. Is it right? And someone asked me, Kant, can you predict about me? Ankush asked me, Kant, can you predict what I do on tomorrow? Man, I don't even have data in my brain. I never got a pattern in my brain. How can I make a prediction? Is it right, Ankush, if I'm not wrong? If I see you for last 1 year, I can make a prediction. Without knowing you, I can't even make any prediction. So the humans do the same thing. That's the reason we are calling it as AI. So now ML is the intelligence part. Without this ML, we can't do an automation. So this is giving us the breakthrough in our industry. Now, what is deep learning? Anyone are having a doubt? This is machine learning, right? There is one more division. Either I can use machine learning or I can use deep learning. I can use machine learning or I can use deep learning. I can use machine learning or I can use deep learning. What is that? What is meant by deep learning? Anyone? Any guess? Anyone know about deep learning? Let me explain in a very simple note. Now, how many of you, for example, let's take, I love this example every time I give it. How many of you love biryani? How many of you love biryani? Right? You love biryani. So here I'm calling it as data. What is data is biryani. Biryani is your data. Now we all love biryani. So what I have done? So now here biryani, I'm taking it as a data. Means when you are eating that biryani, we are able to taste that biryani. So that's what here taste going to be the receptor cells going to taste it. That is the data we are collecting it. Now you love that biryani, your brain is recording it. Now the same biryani, whichever you love it. Now before I'm going to this example, now take this mathematical equation. So whatever we discussed here, now into this equation, if I pass the same data, same here I gave an example of Ashish, right? The same Ashish data, if I'm passing to this equation for 100 times, the results going to change or every time it gives the same results. Same data, same equation. If I'm passing it for the next 100 times, it's going to give you the same data, same results or different results. It's going to give the same results, right? Now, on the other side, let's try to take it like a human. Now here see this biryani, and this is machine learning or mathematical equation. Now what machine learning is doing, if you take the same data, feed into a mathematical equation, it is giving the same results every time if the data is same. Now look at the humans. I'm feeding biryani into your brain, or I'm giving you biryani or eating it. You loved it. After you ate it for lunch, even on the dinner, the same biryani. Do you like it? Do you feel it the same way? The same biryani, same cook, same taste, everything is same. Again, you feel the same high as you felt it afternoon, or you feel it bored, a bit bored, not completely, a bit. Do you feel you like the same way, or you feel a bit bored? What do you feel? How you feel it? You feel a bit bored. So not only on dinner, the next day, again biryani on your breakfast. Again the same, it's a freshly cooked biryani, same chef, same ingredients, same taste. Lunch again. In this way, for the next 3 days, you are eating only the same biryani for your breakfast, lunch, and the dinner. Can you eat it for all the 3 days, if I'm not wrong? For all the 3 days, breakfast, lunch, and the dinner. Now see this, the same data, is your brain responding the same way? Is it responding the same way, your brain? Is it responding the same way, or is it responding in a different way? All the 3 times, or all the 4 times, or all the 10 times, it is responding in a different way. One such example is, take an example of black coffee. The moment you start with a black coffee, how many of you like it? How many of you hate it? The moment you started with a black coffee, that is the very first day. How many of you like a black coffee or an espresso shot? How many of you like it? The very first time you are drinking. Do you like it or you hate it? You don't like it. But over a period of time, as you're getting used to it, what happens? As you're drinking it over a period of time, what happens? By drinking it over a period of time, I'm forcing you to drink it. So, but there is no other way, you need to drink it. So you're not giving up. There is no other way. There is no other way. You are not giving up. You are drinking. Then what happens? You feel addicted. Now see this, the same coffee, when you are feeding to the brain over a period of time, is it responding the same way or a different way? Again, one more time. While you are feeding the same coffee, over a period of time, is it responding the same way or a different way? It is responding a different way, right? So now that is the power of deep learning. So this is machine learning. Machine learning is more like the same equation, same data, every time it performs the same way. But whereas deep learning, whenever you feed data, the same data every time into a deep learning, like a human, every time it trying to be better. Every time it is able to learn better. Every time it is able to understand better. For example, machine learning is unable to learn images. Deep learning can learn images. That's what we are doing with our image recognition. If I wanted image recognition, machine learning says, I can't learn it. Deep learning says, I'm like a human, but I can learn it. Humans can't learn everything in a single shot. Can you master data science in a single go? Can you understand this topic in a single go? All this we are discussing, can it go into your brain in a single go? Not exactly. Over a period of time, it's going to go. One beautiful example is, take us as a kids. We don't even have another way. For example, is there a way that you can skip it of walking? Means like you're unable to walk. Why? Like you are going, you're falling. So is there another way? Papa, please buy me a wheelchair so that I can't walk. I'm failing. So I want to take a wheelchair. Is there a way like that in our childhood? You're unable to walk, so you need to buy a wheelchair. You have that maturity or intelligence. And that's what we do, right? Now, if you are failing, you go for other alternatives. Is it right if I'm not wrong? You go and fail somewhere. Hey, this is not the right thing. Come on, go and do another thing. Is it right? That's what we do. This is what we do once we got that maturity. Is this what we do? But when we are a kid, we don't have that option. So you fail, you see, you observe, you do it again, you fail it again. So until you succeed, you keep on doing it. Humans can do that. You can be an artist, like an artist who are like the famous artists, all the people who are formed, they are not the great artists on the very first day. Over a period of time, the key here is not giving up. It's not about perfection. It's not about intelligence. It's not about resources. It's not about an alpha person or an alpha male. It's about not giving up. If you are not giving up, you are able to be succeeded. That's what the philosophy of the brain, that's what researchers are doing. That's what the scientists do. They try to spend a lot of money, lot of time on research to fail and fail and fail. And finally, they're going to succeed it. Never a scientist going to succeed on the very first go. That's what I call it as design thinking. So in a business, whenever you are getting into data science, so you can't succeed in a first go. You need to fail and fail and fail. So as you are failing multiple times, you are able to succeed it. The same concept, I want to give it to my artificial intelligence. Machine learning is more like a mathematical equation. I want more like a human way. So it need to learn the images. Deep learning can do that. It can learn over a period of time, like the humans. Now take ChatGPT. Now, how many of you tested ChatGPT 3.5 and 4? Any of you tested 3.5 and 4? ChatGPT 3.5 and 4. Any of you tested? Right? Which one is fast? 3.5 is fast or 4 is fast? People who tested it. 3.5 is fast at giving the answers, or 4 is fast at giving the answers. 3.5 is fast at giving the answers when compared to 4. One example is, take humans. So who going to be quick at decision making? A person who is having an experience to drive a car for the next, he is driving the car from last 4 years. A person recently completed his car driving classes. Who going to act fast? Person with 4 years experience or a person with zero experienced. So the more time you spend, the more quick you are able to react. So that's what deep learning is. That's the same concept with ChatGPT. The more it is learning, the more it is able to learn fast. It's more able to react fast. That's the reason 3.5 is better than 4. In case, for example, like Google got all the money, if it is a machine learning, they can build ChatGPT kind of solution, that level of knowledge overnight with the help of bot, but it's not doing. It takes time. Google Siri, in order to get the intelligence, it is taking time. So now that's what DALL-E is doing, like a human. If I'm able to type it, it is able to draw the images like an artist. So if I ask an filter to convert me like an old person, it can do it like an artist. So ChatGPT can speak like a human. It is able to understand me. It is able to perform question answering. It is able to correct the code like a human over a period of time. So in order to do all this, task, we are knocking the door of deep learning. That is one of the very important segment out of it. So all the breakthrough right now is happening with the help of deep learning. Deep learning math is a bit more deeper than your machine learning math. So whenever you are getting into predictive analytics, it is all the mathematical equation. So why you need to have a mathematical equation? In order to understand the patterns, you can understand the patterns only with the help of mathematical equation. One certain example, go to physics. Physics is all about mathematical equations. To understand about trajectory or whatever it is, like the light or whatever it is it all the velocity? Is it all the particular math in physics? To understand the patterns, there is a mathematical equation. So we are trying to understand the patterns of the business with the help of mathematics. So now whenever you are planning data science, you need to have a deeper knowledge about mathematics. So now without mathematics, now see this, just take this example again, go back to this. Now, if you are choosing a wrong mathematical equation, so this customer lookalike model going to give you the right results or the wrong results? If you are trying to choose a wrong mathematical equation, it's going to give you a right lookalike model. Now, business owners need mathematical equation or they want accurate lookalike customers. What they need? They need mathematical equation or they need lookalike customers. What they need? Business owners. Business owners need a lookalike customers. They don't want the mathematical equation, but the role of a data scientist is to get a right lookalike customers by using different mathematical equations. Without knowing math, can you select the right mathematical equation? Without knowing the pros and cons of every mathematical technique, can you choose the right mathematical technique for your particular problem statement? The same thing with your email engagement. The same thing with the recommendation. Just imagine recommending the wrong product. You're going to lose the business or not? It's not about right predictions. It's not even about predictions. If you are predicting the wrong recommendations, you're going to lose a customer or not? Just imagine you are getting wrong recommendations or wrong recommended products to your email every time. Do you block that product? Do you block that site or not if you're getting wrong products? Do you feel it as spam? Do you feel it something more skeptical? Yes or no? So whatever the predictions you are doing, they need to be accurate. If anything is going wrong, it's going to cost a business. Now, a business owner, do he allows to go anything wrong? Do he allows to go anything wrong in a business? It's not, right? So that is the role of a data scientist. Now, if you are able to look at this life cycle, now whatever we are doing, now is all these topics connected? Data analytics, data science, all these topics, are they connected? Now see this. Data analytics, data science. So now here I call it as AI. Within AI, you got ML, you got deep learning. Then Kant, what is NLP? Now, what is NLP here? Let me go back to this life cycle again. Now, if you are able to look at this life cycle, now what we are doing with this life cycle here, I want to perform email automation. In order to understand the text data, we need to use NLP plus machine learning or NLP plus deep learning in order to perform email automation. Now, if I want to make this entire process to be automated, I am able to use MLOps lifecycle. If I want to automate this entire lifecycle, I can use MLOps. If I want to do this entire operation onto the cloud, I can use AWS or I can use Azure. So on this Azure or AWS, I'm able to perform MLOps. So in this way, like there is a lot of depth towards it, but I don't say like all this you need to learn it. So you need to be mastering only few elements. Now I will be giving you right now. Now, as a data analytic person, you don't use anything from artificial intelligence. As a data scientist, you may use machine learning. So in a very rare cases, you may use deep learning. I don't say it's mandatory, but in a very rare cases, you may use deep learning. So you are taking the technology or the concepts of AI and you are using it in order to perform predictive analytics. So now, in order to perform this predictive analytics, the company primarily look for two important skill sets. So primarily two important skill sets. Very first one is Python. They expect you to be a very good programmer with Python. And the second one, they expect a very good amount of mathematical knowledge. I mean, mathematical knowledge on machine learning. By using these two things, they want to see a proper value, or they want to see some real projects in your resume, so that you are able to get the opportunities. With respect to this, when you are directly getting to a company working on a data scientist, you don't basically work only on directly data science projects. So even you will be working, before you are going with a predictive analytics, you need to know about descriptive as well. You need to know about their business. You need to understand about their previous things. For that reason, you need to have the knowledge about data analytics. So as a data analytics, you need to have the knowledge on MySQL. You need to have the knowledge on Tableau or Power BI. So already you have a skill set of this data analytics. So it would be easy for you to get into data science. So if you are targeting data science, you need to learn these two skill set. If you are targeting only data analytics, you want to learn this particular skill set. Now, what is a computer sciences? Now, whenever you are going into this, for example, here, see this, if I want to be a data scientist can be integrated with the sensors. Sensors are dealt with IoT department. So now I can use IoT department in order to perform these operations into a sensors, into a drone or into a smartwatches. For all this, I want an IoT team with respect to my particular ML skill set. Or for example, we all do this NVIDIA Jetsons and all that also comes into IoT. Now, apart from that, now why software skills are important is majority of the time we are able to see most of the people are software people when compared to IoT and all that. So now what the software people do, they try to develop websites or they try to develop mobile apps. So their role is to develop the mobile apps and the web apps or web applications or the software. So now with respect to this, we need software engineering skills in order to build web applications or mobile applications. With that, if you are able to have ML, that is an advantage. So people who are already web developers moving into ML is very easy. They are able to develop a lot of prototypes. So now software development skill is not a mandatory skill to be a data scientist. So if you are planning to be a data scientist, so the mandatory skill set are this. Is it clear, everyone? Am I clear, able to understand it? Now, with respect to ML, means like as a predictive analytics, you can deal with tabular data, you may deal with text data or anything, right? Even if you can have a knowledge about NLP, that is good. NLP is meant for handling a text data. For example, I want to understand reviews. I want to understand the customer issues. For all that, I'm able to go with NLP, which is a text data. So this skill set, if you have it, you are able to target a data science profile. So now, but what is the key? Now your goal, what you are offering to the company, you are offering Python, ML, NLP skill set, or you are offering a business value. What you are offering whenever you go to an interview or whenever you go to a particular market, what you are offering. Even it is a data analytics, you need to always offer a business value. So try to correct this point. You are able to see a huge amount of difference in your particular way of targeting the business and all that. Means like in lines of you as well, whatever you learn. So you can go through, in order to learn, you can learn multiple ways. People choose courses, you can learn it through YouTube. There are multiple ways to do that. But what I personally suggest is whichever the topic you learn it, you need to invest time on implementation. As I said, now humans can be confident only when they implement it. So just by listening, can you be a very good car driver? Just by listening to YouTube videos on how to drive a car, can you drive it well? Now the goal is to drive or to listen. What is the goal when you go to a real time? So you bought a car. The goal is what? So get into the car, play a video on how to drive car. Is it right? Is that like that, or you need to drive it? What is what exactly the goal of it? To drive or to get into the car and play the video on how to drive it? It automatically going to drive. So the goal is to drive it. So when you are able to get that expertise, the early you get to the practice, the early you implement it, the early you can be an expert. If you are thinking and if you are fearing, so like there are two different types of people. There are people who learn car driving, they know everything pretty well. They have the problem of fear. There are other people, they don't even fear. They are more like doing it. They implement whatever they learned, they want to implement. Who going to learn the car driving quick? People who fear or people who are implementers? Who going to learn the car driving quick? People who got fear. implementers, right? The same thing applicable for your data science. If you want to be confident, the goal is not to be good in the course. The goal is not to be good with whatever you learned it in a YouTube. The goal is you need to do it. So whichever you listen it, you need to see whether it is good or not. You need to implement it. So the more you implement, the quick you can get to the industry. So the amount of time it's going to make a transition is dependent on your implementation rate. The more you implement, the quick you can get into the industry. The more you implement, the more you get the confidence in lines of data science or data analytics. The less you implement, the less you are able to get it. So always pick something complex and work on it. The more complex you work on, the more confident you're going to be. Again, one more example in the car itself. Now, driving in a road, that is also an implementation. Riding in a ground and riding in a traffic, which one is complex? Riding in a ground where there are no one, riding in a road, which one is more complex? What is your reality? Riding in a traffic is the reality. And which one is complex as a learner? Riding in the ground is complex or riding in the traffic is complex? Riding in the traffic is the complex. By implementing that slowly, you get that confidence. If you feel I'm a beginner, I want to drive it only in the ground. And if you keep on investing your time for next 30 days only on the ground, can you go and drive it on the traffic with confidence? Whenever you go to the traffic, again, it is the same risk rate. Is it right? If I'm not wrong, the risk rate going to drop it? No. So you are driving all these 30 days only in the ground. The moment you get to the traffic, you feel that confidence. No, you still feel that less confidence. Why? The environment is different. So always practice towards the reality. The reality is you want to work on a complex thing. The reality is you want to work on the big thing. So tune your brain towards that and start doing it early. You may not get it on the first day. Second day you may be getting. Third day you may be getting. Fourth day you may be getting. If you are seeing or you are making a judgment based on the first day, you are mistaken about your brain. Your brain says that you can learn it over a period of time. So keep that point in the brain. That is a concept of deep learning. You learn it in the deep learning classes. Is it clear, everyone? Able to get this? So now what is AI skills? People who are very good with machine learning, deep learning, and even there is one more thing, we call it as reinforcement learning. So plus deployment. So people who are very good with even MLOps, I can say. People who are very good with all this, we can say AI engineers. So the role of AI engineers is only goal is automation. So the goal of AI engineers is to perform automations. The role of data science is to perform both automation and analytics. Automation and analytics. That analytics can be a future analytics or the previous analytics like predictive or prescriptive. So not prescriptive, it's like a descriptive or predictive. Both the things data science going to do, whereas AI person focus only on the automation. So now the next level of data science going to be your AI. So like if you are going to be more programmer, go with AI. So Kant, I'm a moderate programmer, go with data science. Kant, I'm very new to programming and very weak with math, go with data analytics. That's how you can choose. Got it? So, but once you got into data analytics, don't wait more than 2 years in the same role, get to data science. So once you are in data science, don't wait more than 2 years, get to the next level, like at least a managerial level or a senior level, or at least to a better level. So always keep upskilling. I only suggest in this, now in the current world, you need to be in order to stay in the race, you need to be upskilling every time. So like once you got to the job, just try to learn every day to explore new skills, new things. So it's an investment. So be or stay with a mindset of freelancer mindset. Every time think towards opportunities, learn them quick, have them in your profile, think about how you can sell it to the market. Always think like a freelancer. Now we are seeing all these people right now. If you see content creators, they are creating content related to different things. They are coming up with their advertisements and all that. Have you noticed it? Majority of the content creators, it can be YouTube and all that. They build their, we can say a community, and they are trying to sell some products around it. Is it right? That's what we are able to see around your nowadays content thing, Instagram or YouTube or anything like Telegrams and all this, like we are able to see it. Now, every employee, every person, I don't say like employee, you always need to have a mindset of a freelancer mindset. Now treat yourself as a company. You are an individual company, you are not an employee. You itself, you are a company. Now, as a company, you need to offer the best service which they don't have it. Now, when you are feeling yourself as a company, now see this, in order to buy a product, if both the products are same, do you buy it? If both the products are same, do you buy it or you go for another product which is better than this two? So how many of you are aware of iPhones? How many of you are aware of iPhones? I'll be giving a very good example related to our career with respect to iPhone. How many of you are aware of iPhones? Right? We are aware of it. So now in iPhones, are they doing changes? They are doing a lot of changes to these iPhones, or they are trying to change the way they are marketing. What they are doing in these iPhones? Are they doing a lot of change, or they are trying to, what they are trying to do? They are trying to change a lot, or they are trying to change the way they are selling it, what they are doing it, what the way they are marketing, what they are doing. I can strictly say they are trying to market. They are just marketing it. They are not doing any changes. They are marketing. So the one tip we can learn from Apple is you don't need to learn a lot. You need to learn. You need to be better than the market. You need to be better. But in your interview calls, in your resume, you need to be better in projecting yourself. Whatever you learned it, you need to frame it around what companies are looking for. You need to frame it around what companies are looking for. You know Power BI, but you need to frame it around how companies are looking for. So now you always need to remarket it, whatever the skills you are learning. If you say Power BI, it is there in the industry from a very long time. We call it as business intelligence. Do you remember it? We call it as business intelligence. Do you see? So database is there in the very long time. Now we are calling it as data engineering. We call data warehousing. Now we are calling it as data engineering, right? So the profiles are not changing, and analytics is there in the industry. Nothing is changing. Only the way we are marketing it is changing. So what I personally suggest is, instead of treating you as an employee, treat yourself as a company. You always think towards how you can be better, how you can be unique, and how you are able to get the maximum money out of the companies. Every time think towards it. How can I get a more hike? How can I maximize that hike? Always think towards this phenomena. The reason, very simple, I'll be telling you. When you are no longer adding a value to a company, do they go for a loyalty and do they keep you in a company? You are no longer adding a value in a company. Do they keep that, hey, this guy is working with us from a very long time? Do they care all these parameters, or they fire you, or they remove you? What they do? They will be removing you. So when companies are like that, what I personally suggest is, so your career, it's you need to think it. So make as much money as possible. How you can make, the key point is exchange the value. The more you add it, that's the reason. So shift at least within 2 years, or shift from one company to another company at least for 3 years or 4 years. In case, even if you are able to get more value, if you are able to add more value, demand the value from the company, get more salary. So always get as much money as possible. So always treat yourself as a company. Think like a freelancer. So the only difference between a freelancer and the particular employees is, employees are more secured people. They can't learn multiple things. They are secured beings. Freelancers are less secure. They don't know what to do in this particular day. They don't know what skills they need to use it. Every time they focus towards learning more things. The same thing I suggest. You got a secure job, but your mindset need to be unsecure. You need to think towards something, upskilling yourself and getting the most out of the market. All right, that is what I want to give it to all the people. So think like a freelancer, exchange the business value. That's it. So is everything clear, learners?